thanks for driving us around today.
That's okay.
Tell us about the areas that you cover.
So our office is based in Forestville. We mainly cover Forestville, Frenchs Forest, Killarney Heights, Belrose and Davidson, pretty much servicing all of the forest area. We do from time to time get listings out of area along the northern beaches for clients that we know really well that want us to look after the sale for them, but the main area we focus on is the forest.
Okay, and you from here?
Yes, I live in Forestville. I went to Killarney Heights High School and have lived in Forestville my whole life, so know the area incredibly well.
And why real estate?
Real estate for me, I suppose I sort of stumbled into real estate. I was at university after school and just wasn't my thing, didn't really have the passion for it, and decided to get a job and just get into full-time work, and stumbled across an ad for a real estate position and went for an interview, took the job and was with that office for about 10 months and then had an opportunity to move to Rain and Horn where I am now, and have been there ever since for almost 5 years now.
And what about it is exciting for you?
I think just being out and about and meeting people, you do meet some genuinely nice people that you just want to help, and it's a pretty huge thing for them selling real estate, and being able to have them feel comfortable with you and trust you and know that they're going to be looked after properly is a pretty big thing. I also like the flexibility of it too. When something needs to be done, it needs to be done straight away and you're working pretty hard, but at the same time, if it is a little bit quieter, you do have some flexibility around the work hours too. So I like being out and about is probably the main thing.
Okay. All right, so we're driving at the moment from Beacon Hill to Frenchs Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, new hospital, new infrastructure around. What does that mean for the area? What does that mean for buyers in the area?
It's a huge thing for this area. At the moment, it's a little bit disruptive, but we are hoping once the roads are finished, that'll all settle down, and it will be a huge benefit to the area. It's a massive piece of infrastructure. It's the biggest change that Frenchs Forest has ever seen, and it's really put the area on the map for a lot of people too. They hadn't really known about Frenchs Forest and the surrounding suburbs beforehand, and now with the exposure that the suburbs been given, we're getting a lot of people now starting to look at this area as a family area, investment opportunity. So there's a lot of new people looking to move to the area.
So we're coming up to the new area. One street over is a lot of headaches with Ring Road at the moment. Mm-hmm. What do you say to people who are looking to buy in the area and about looking forward?
Yeah, you have to look at it with a long-term view. For most of the people that are buying real estate, they're thinking it's at least a 10, 20, 30-year plan for them. So you really need to tell them to look through what's happening at the moment. This is temporary, and it will be a huge benefit to the area once it's done. One thing we're saying to people now is that because it is a little bit disruptive, the area probably hasn't reached its full potential right now. So if they can look past it, put up with it for a little while longer, they're going to benefit hugely once it's all done. We're going to see a new town precinct just ahead of us built as well, with shops, cafes, medical facilities. It's going to be huge, and they're able to get into the area now and then look to benefit from that growth once that's all up and running.
All right, so this is a bit of an unusual area. This is, so you've got really new areas, and then you've got this kind of area that's, has been around. Some of these houses are from the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
What am I looking for? We hear this, the worst house on the best street kind of thing. What am I looking for coming into the area?
What a lot of the families that we're seeing at the moment are looking for is convenience. So they want a nice level walk to shops, bus transportation to the city, to Chatswood. For them, with the kids, they can walk to the buses. Being able to walk to the schools is a really big draw card as well. Somewhere that's not too busy. We often find that cul-de-sac locations are really, really popular. They're very safe for young kids being able to play around in the street, and just having that safety is a really big thing for people. But the main thing is being close to services and transport, shopping centres, the schools. They're the biggest things people are looking for.
There's some fantastic schools in this area as well.
Yes, yeah, you've got quite a few local schools, from primary schools to high schools. Killarney Heights High School is a huge draw card for a lot of the families moving to the area, and also the French bilingual program that they teach in the primary school. Another big draw card. We've got a lot of French clients that move to the area and want the kids to take up that at school and keep that going through their years, and it's a pretty big draw card for them.
So if I was looking to come into an area like this and I want to buy somewhere to renovate, again, what am I looking for? What am I trying to turn my house into?
Well, I think a big thing, and probably the most important thing if you're thinking of doing a renovation and trying to create something that will appeal to people if you do put it back on the market at a later date, is that it needs to have a nice big grass yard. That's a huge draw card for people at the moment. We're finding that big yards are incredibly popular for the kids. They can run around. It's nice and safe for them to play. You can look at putting a pool in, put a granny flat in, extend, eventually knock down and rebuild. So you certainly can't go wrong with a nice level block. A lot of people want a brick veneer home. That's pretty popular, but there are a lot of the timber homes and the timber cottages that are in incredibly good condition and well looked after. So brick veneer or timber, it doesn't matter too much, but I think the most important thing is a level block. So this property is going to auction tomorrow, actually. It's been on the market for 4 weeks now, so we run a 4-week auction campaign from start to finish. For the buyers, we have open homes Wednesdays and Saturdays for half an hour, so they come through, have a look at the property. That's really the biggest time that we're engaging with them. So yeah, then we follow up with them Mondays and Tuesdays, do the callbacks, get in touch with them in a bit more detail, have a chat with them after they've had the weekend to really think things through and see if the home works for them. And then basically they pop back through. Some people will come and look at the home 2, 3, 4 times. They'll bring friends, family members through. We will do private appointments if need be as well. So anyone who can't make it along to the open times, we'll bring them through privately and take them through one-on-one. We've had building and pest inspections already completed on the property, so it just makes it easier for the buyers. That's already been done. We can just email that straight through to them. And then on the 4th Saturday here on site at the property is when we have the auction. So this one will be auctioning tomorrow, expecting quite a good turnout for a home like this.
Why use a real estate agent? Why can't I do it myself?
There's a lot of different reasons why you definitely shouldn't do it yourself. There were actually a few sales last year of properties off market that were sold by owners, and they genuinely sold for, one was $200,000 below what the market value really was. So I think if you go to do it on your own, firstly, you won't have that knowledge of the market value and what homes are selling for and why they're selling for certain prices. There's a lot of reasons that one home will fetch a huge price compared to another, and if you don't know that reason, there's a big chance that you're going to undersell your home. So there's the knowledge, there's the negotiation side of things. We're doing this every single day, and we're negotiating with people weekly. So to really hone those skills is something that takes time, and you can't just do that without having any practice and I suppose continuously doing that week in, week out. So you're being able to do that and sort of manage things to get our owners the best price, rather than just saying, well, this is the price I want to sell it for. I'll put it on the market and see what happens. There's a lot that goes into the planning side of things. Another reason is, we get owners that we've run a 4-week auction campaign, and they might say to us just before the auction that, if we can get anything over 1.5, for example, we'll be really, really happy. And if they were selling it themselves, they probably would settle for 1.5. But when we take it through to auction or are negotiating, we have sales that will end up selling for 1.7, 1.8 million, and that's $200,000-300,000 dollars extra for these clients that they simply would not have been able to get on their own. The management side of things is also pretty crazy, especially in the market at the moment. Open homes, we're getting up to 50 groups of buyers coming through during a half an hour open home, and being able to manage that and doing it properly is something that's not that easy to do. And if you're working, doing your own job 9 to 5, being able to find the time to do that simply is just not possible. You won't have enough time to do it and to do it properly, to make sure that you can manage the whole campaign and get the top price you possibly can.
So what do you say to people that question whether to rent or to buy?
I suppose a lot of it depends on your individual circumstance. With some of the rates that are out there at the moment, it's not that much more expensive to buy than it is to rent, and in some areas it's cheaper to actually buy than rent. So there's pretty cheap money out there at the moment with interest rates and the way things are going. The market's pretty hot, and we're expecting that there's going to be some growth next year. Some people are saying anywhere from 8%, and I have heard all the way up to 15% over the next 12 months. So if you're buying a $1.5 million home, if you think around 10%, it's $150,000 next year is what they're expecting on top of that. So it does make sense at the moment to buy and to try and find something that you can live in that will be your dream home. I think the other nice thing is you have the flexibility if you do buy. It's your property, you can do whatever you want to it, you can renovate it. There's no one else that really is going to tell you that yes or no, you can't do that. And you can add your own touches and do it that way. So it does depend on what you want to do. Some people own a few investment properties and they just choose to rent where they live. And others just put all their money into buying the family home and making it their dream home. So it does depend a lot on your preference, I suppose.
Okay, so we're up at Killarney Heights at the moment, which is an area you've mentioned before.
Yep.
Tell us about this area. Tell us about this suburb.
Killarney Heights is a hugely family-orientated area. We find that the main buyers here are young families looking to move to the area. The new childcare centre that's just opened up next to us, the primary school and the high school are huge draw cards. These little shops here at Killarney Heights are really popular, and they're changing quite a lot as we find more and more people move to the area. Really convenient thing for them to have so close by. But people are really drawn to Killarney because it is so quiet. It's not a thoroughfare for anyone, so it's really just residents that are coming through here. It's a dead-end suburb on the peninsula, and there's not a huge amount of turnover in terms of property that actually hits the market. So it's one of the quietest suburbs in the area in terms of transactions, which often ends in there being a lot of people looking to move here, and it tends to hold the prices quite buoyant as well.
And then you've got the Killarney Heights School, which is here, which is the high school?
Yes, so this is the high school.
Okay, so not a lot of high schools in the area, so how big an impact is this?
Huge impact. Killarney Heights High School is a massive draw card. I went to this school, so I'm a little bit biased. I love it. But we have people moving here. We sold a home only a couple of months ago in Killarney Heights on Londonderry Drive, and they had just sold in WA, and we're moving here. The wife, she was French, and they wanted the kids to have the French program from the primary school right through to the high school. So relocated here from WA, and the reason they were looking at Killarney Heights and solely at Killarney Heights was the school. So it's a huge draw card for a lot of young families. I went to Killarney Heights High School, so I think it's a pretty great school, and we're seeing a lot of people moving into the area because of it.
Okay, so I know you're a little bit biased, but why the Northern Beaches? Why would a family looking to come to the Sydney area look at the Northern Beaches?
I think the Northern Beaches are, Forestville and Frenchs Forest in particular are a great midpoint for a lot of people. So if you're looking to find somewhere that on the weekends you can head down to the beach and enjoy that lifestyle, but the majority of the time in midweek you're heading into the city for work, North Sydney, Chatswood. It's a really great midpoint for those people. You can jump on the bus. The Forest Coach Line buses are fantastic. They run express along Eastern Valley Way through to the city, and you can be in the city easily in half an hour. Then on the weekends, if you want to head down to the beaches, it takes me 15 minutes and I'm down at Freshwater or Kelkel Beach, even down to Manly as well. So I think it is a really good midpoint for a lot of people, and it's a nice family orientated suburban area. It's not busy, it's not crowded, but you've got sort of the best of both worlds.